Heartwarming tale, orphan sold by stepmother to homeless man revealed as hidden billionaire. Lily stared at the cracks in the pavement, her heart aching like the storm brewing overhead. Thunder rumbled, sending a jolt through her. She had always felt like a burden in her small Midwestern town, especially after losing her parents. Now, living with her cruel stepmother, the weight of despair pressed heavily on her shoulders. Her stepmother would often remind Lily that she was nothing but a dead weight, dragging her down. The words stung like ice, chilling her to the bone. One stormy night, drenched and shivering, Lily took refuge in an alley. She pulled her knees to her chest, feeling as if she blended into the shadows, invisible and undesired. And then she heard a laugh that echoed off the damp walls, warm and inviting amidst the cold. Caleb, a disheveled man with kind eyes, stepped into the dim light. "You look like you need a friend," he said, offering her a half-eaten sandwich. Tears welled in Lily's eyes for the first time in a while. His laughter melted her fear, and they started talking. Caleb told stories of his time in the military, speaking of camaraderie and dreams. "One day," he said, "I want to open a small business and help people." Hope blossomed inside her. Perhaps she wasn't as alone as she thought. With each passing week, she helped him with odd jobs, cleaning the community center, serving meals at the shelter. As she worked alongside Caleb, Lily experienced something she hadn't felt in years: belonging. Their laughter echoed around the town, stirring hope and inspiring her to see kindness as a testament to strength. Yet, the shadows of her life loomed close. One day, while Lily was helping clean the shelter, her stepmother discovered the truth. Fury twisted her stepmother's face like a storm brewing. "You think you can just run off to be with a homeless man?" She spat, her voice sharp and cruel. "That's enough, Lily. You're coming back with me." In that moment, the warmth of Caleb's stories felt like the last flicker of light before darkness swallowed her whole. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. Caleb, cornered by her stepmother's threats, revealed a shocking truth: he was a former billionaire, having lost everything in a stock market crash. Now, he chose to live among the people he helped, embodying humility and strength. "I've been where you are," he said softly, "and I don't need riches to know what true family is." The news shattered her, leaving Lily reeling. Could she trust him? As her stepmother's voice echoed in her mind, Lily felt a surge of resolve. The kind of love Caleb showed her was worth fighting for. As their community began to rally around them, Lily stood at a crossroads. Would she let her stepmother drag her back into darkness, or would she embrace her newfound freedom? The storm outside raged on, but so did the fire within her. Would she have the strength to claim the life she always dreamed of? The rain pounded heavily against the concrete, a fierce reminder of nature's power. Yet in the depths of the storm, a flicker of hope ignited in Lily's chest. She looked up at Caleb, who stood resolute amid the chaos, unwavering. His eyes seemed to pierce through the noise, calling her to make a choice. "Lily," Caleb said softly, stepping closer, "if you want to stay, I will protect you. But it means facing your fears together." She watched as the rain created rivers along the pavement, mirroring the turmoil swirling inside her. Her heart raced. The thought of confronting her stepmother filled her with dread, but the thought of returning to that dark life felt even worse. Taking a deep breath, Lily made her decision. "I want to stay," she said, her voice steady. "I want to fight." Caleb smiled, a warm light breaking through the storm. "Then let us show her what strength looks like." As they walked back toward the community center together, it felt like the storm was washing away the weight of her past. They passed an old storefront, its windows steamy and inviting. Caleb stopped and looked at Lily, glancing at a poster for a local event. What do you think? Maybe we should gather the people you've met through volunteering. They'll support you. Would they? Lily asked, uncertainty creeping back in. Yes. You've brought them joy. They'll stand with you, he said, his confidence bolstering her spirit. With each step, she felt herself growing bolder. She ventured out into the heart of the community, knocking on doors, talking to neighbors. To her surprise, they rallied around her. People she had served meals with, those who had shared their own struggles and stories, all came together. Caleb stood beside her, guiding her, helping her reach deeper into her own community. The day of the confrontation with her stepmother arrived, bright and clear, as if the storm had passed for good. Lily took a moment to compose herself, staring into a handheld mirror. She could almost hear the echoes of her stepsister's taunts about her worthlessness. But today was different. Today, she would stand tall. As they approached her stepmother's house, Lily felt Caleb's reassuring hand on her shoulder. Remember, they may try to belittle you, but you are not alone. You have community behind you, and you have me. In that moment, the warmth of family wrapped around her. Her stepmother opened the door, but the surprise on her face quickly turned to fury. You think you can just come back after running off with a nobody? She sneered. You don't belong here. Lily took a step forward, defiance blooming inside her. No, I belong with people who care. People who see me for who I am. The words felt like armor against her stepmother's icy gaze. Behind her, she could feel the support of her friends, including Caleb's presence, anchoring her. The atmosphere crackled with tension. What would her stepmother say next? What would she try to do? For every second that passed, it felt like the showdown of a lifetime was just about to unfold, but with her heart pounding in her chest, Lily wouldn't back down. Today was her moment of truth. Would she find the courage to break free from her past once and for all, or would the shadows of her upbringing threaten to drag her back into darkness? The tension in the air was palpable, a heavy silence lingering after Lily's bold declaration. Her stepmother narrowed her eyes, surveying Lily as if trying to uncover some hidden weakness she could exploit. But there was none. All the years of doubt, of shame, drained away, replaced by a fierce glow of determination. Lily felt Caleb's presence beside her, steady and unyielding. She could sense the warmth radiating from him, almost like a shield against the biting coldness of her stepmother's disdain. They don't understand us, he murmured under his breath, as if sensing her internal battle. But they will. What people, Lily? Her stepmother spat, crossing her arms, a wicked grin stretching across her face. You mean the charity cases you serve? They're not family, they don't owe you anything. A wave of anger surged through Lily. How could her stepmother belittle those who had become family through shared struggles? The rage helped her push forward. They see me. They know what I've sacrificed, she retorted, her voice gaining volume and confidence. You don't control my life anymore. Caleb stepped back slightly, allowing Lily to take the forefront. She took a deep breath, grounding herself, feeling the warmth of the community behind her, a safety net woven from shared humanity. I'm done hiding. You may think you can scare me back into silence, but I've found my voice, and I'm not afraid to use it. Her stepmother scoffed, shaking her head. You're foolish, Lily. You really think they care? They're not going to fight for someone like you. The laughter that erupted from Caleb's throat surprised even him. Try them, he challenged, turning to the community members who had gathered behind them, forming an unofficial support circle. Murmurs of encouragement floated through the air, brushing against Lily like a gentle breeze. Lily's our family, one voice called. It was Mrs. Jenkins, a local widow who had shared stories and meals with Lily at the community center. She's more than we could ever hope to be. Yes. Another chimed in, a young man who had previously struggled with addiction but had found himself through their shared efforts. She deserves a chance. One by one, voices rose, overwhelming her stepmother's icy demeanor with a chorus of support. "We believe in you. You've given us hope." The mantras echoed loudly, swirling around them and building a wall of solidarity. Lily felt tears sting her eyes, but they were tears of strength. She turned to her stepmother, whose grin had faltered slightly, uncertainty flickering in her gaze. "These are my people," Lily said. "And they're here for me, to help me take a stand against everything you've done." But just as the atmosphere felt like it might tip in Lily's favor, her stepmother's mask slipped back into place. "We'll see about that," she hissed, her voice a low growl. "You think this is over? You're still just a girl without any power." With that, she slammed the door in their faces, leaving Lily and the community in stunned silence. The moment felt like a bubble bursting, the energy dissipating into the cool air. "Don't let her get in your head, Lily," Caleb urged, his eyes searching hers. "That was just a setback." Lily nodded, her heart racing with anger and fear, but something else was blossoming too. She was not alone. And their words echoed inside her, they were ready to fight with her. "I'm not giving up," she said firmly. "Not now." But deep down, a question lingered: what would her stepmother do next? Would she come back, fiercer than before? And could Lily and her community truly stand against the darkness of her past? The sun peeked through the clouds, casting a warm glow on the scene, a reminder that even in the face of adversity, there could be light. Would it be enough to lead Lily into the future she dreamed of, or would the shadows cast by her upbringing prove to be too strong? Lily stepped back from the door, a whirlwind of emotions threatening to spiral out of control. The warmth from the community still buzzed through her veins, but her stepmother's ominous threat clung to her like a chilling fog. She glanced at Caleb, his expression unreadable yet steadfast, and knew she couldn't back down now. "Let us go back inside," he suggested gently, nudging her toward the community center. It was quieter here, but the feeling inside still pulsed with life. "We'll talk it out. You could use some strategy." Nodding, Lily took a deep breath as they crossed the threshold into the welcoming space that had been her sanctuary for so long. The center, with its familiar smell of brewed coffee and freshly baked pastries, was filled with laughter and chatter from familiar faces. It was a stark contrast to the breeze that had suddenly turned bitter out on the porch. As they settled at a table adorned with a colorful tablecloth, Lily leaned in, urgency tinged with anxiety coloring her voice. "What if she comes back with a plan? This isn't just a family quarrel anymore, it's a fight over everything I've built." Caleb leaned forward, his brow furrowed. "You can't let her intimidate you. She knows that the support is growing around you. That's why she'll hit back harder. But we can plan. Together." Lily appreciated his confidence, it was a steadying force. She glanced around the room, her eyes catching on faces filled with familiarity and encouragement. It was incredible how much they believed in her, and she refused to let that faith be in vain. Mrs. Jenkins approached their table, a slice of homemade pie in hand, and smiled warmly. "You did wonderfully out there, Lily. Your voice matters, you know. Keep it strong." That simple affirmation swelled within her, filling her with renewed strength. "Thank you, Mrs. Jenkins. But I worry about what she will do next." "Fear can be a weapon," the older woman replied softly, her eyes glimmering with wisdom. "But together, you can turn that weapon against her. It's time to show her what your community can do." The words resonated with Lily, unlocking a sense of purpose she hadn't noticed earlier. What if they organized? What if they created something larger, a movement? Their voices could be a collective sword against her stepmother's darkness. As whispers of a plan began to float through the room, Lily found herself igniting with ideas, rallies, social media campaigns, reaching out to local news outlets. Unity could be their greatest strength. "I can speak at a town meeting," she suggested, her pulse quickening at the thought. "I can share my story. This isn't just about me, it's about everyone fighting back against negativity. We can make a difference." Caleb grinned, catching her enthusiasm. Exactly. The community stands with you. They want to be part of this fight. You just need to lead. Excitement bubbled in the air as they discussed plans, voices blending into a symphony of hope and camaraderie. They brainstormed ideas, shared personal experiences, and outlined how they could empower one another, but just as Lily felt the momentum shifting in her favor, a phone buzzed in her pocket, breaking her concentration. The familiar notification sound sliced through the jubilant atmosphere. It was a text message from an unknown number, filled only with chilling words. "You wanted a fight, Lily? I'll see you soon." Her heartbeat drummed in her ears as the joyful chatter around her began to fade. The excitement of their planning fell away, replaced by a thick veil of dread. What was that? Caleb's voice pierced through her whirlwind of thoughts. Lily's hand shook as she held up her phone, the words glaring back at her. "I think we're in for something much darker than I anticipated." Could she truly rally her community against the storm approaching? Would they all be safe, or was this just the beginning of an even tougher fight? The moment the terrible message landed in Lily's hands, a shiver trailed down her spine. The cafe felt stifling now, the warmth that had buoyed her spirit evaporating in an instant. She fumbled with her phone, anxiety slipping through her fingers like grains of sand. Caleb's brow knitted tighter as he read the screen. "We need to stay calm and focus," he urged, but his voice wavered too. The weight of that text settled heavily on them. Lily's pulse raced. "What if it's not just empty words, Caleb? What if she's trying to scare you?" he interrupted, forcing a smile, though the flicker of fear in his eyes betrayed him. "Let's not let her win. We're stronger together, remember?" But doubt lingered in her mind, a persistent whisper that made her stomach twist. She glanced around the room, the conversations of friends and allies suddenly muffled. Their support felt tangible, but at that moment, danger felt more immediate. "Can we just take a moment?" she said, her voice cracking slightly. She needed a breath, a second to regroup. Caleb nodded, his concern transforming into steadfast support as he stepped back to let her breathe. Lily stared at the pie Mrs. Jenkins had left behind, the slices of rainbow fruits layered perfectly on the crust. It was absurd that in a world spinning out of control, something so simple could still exist. She picked up her fork, hesitating before she took a bite, letting the sweetness flood her senses for just a moment. It was flavor bursting in contrast to the gloom weighing down her heart. It reminded her of simpler times when evil seemed like tales told in books, not a reality looming over her. But memories of laughter, friendship, and knowing that she belonged surged back, filling her with renewed resolve. I want to take back control," she finally said as she put down the fork. "I'm going to stand up. Not just for me, but for everyone who ever felt pushed down. She can't silence us." Caleb's face brightened at her words. "That's the spirit. We can become a voice to be reckoned with. If she thinks she can scare you into silence, she's going to learn the hard way that you're not backing down." Just then, Mrs. Jenkins returned, her eyes sharp with understanding. "Lily, I heard about the message," she said, her hand resting on Lily's shoulder. "Remember, you're never alone in this fight. We have your back." A trembling group of friends gathered at their table, concern etched into their faces. They huddled together as they started sharing ideas on how to solidify their plans. Even in anxiety, strength emerged as they began mapping their community outreach and strategizing ways to gain visibility. Lily could feel the electricity in the air. Excitement began to replace dread. They talked about social media campaigns and outreach events to share their cause. Voices turned increasingly fervent, filled with ideas to fuel a movement, but amid the fervor, her phone buzzed again, jarring her focus. Another message, a photo this time. It showed her stepmother standing outside the community center, a dark figure in the light of day, arms crossed and smirking. The caption read, "The show has only just begun. You can't escape me." Lily's heart plummeted, the sense of camaraderie around her crumbling. "She's watching us," she murmured, feeling the walls closing in. Caleb leaned closer, determination unfolding in his gaze. Remember why you're doing this. Don't let her take your fire. As Lily looked around at her friends, she realized that this was about more than just her stepmother, it was about everyone who had ever felt unheard. She steeled herself against the shadow of fear she had felt moments before. "All right," she said, clenching her fists, her voice steadying. "We're going to draw the line right here. No more fear." But as the idea took shape, a surge of adrenaline coursed through her, leaving her curious yet terrified. What would the next move be against a woman unafraid to tear lives apart? This was just the beginning. Would their rallying cry resonate strong enough to drown out the threatening echoes of her stepmother's return? That question loomed large as Lily prepared to step into her fight. She felt the tides shift around her, and in her heart, she knew it was time to wake the giant. Lily's heart raced as the group surrounding her buzzed with ideas, yet the nagging fear from that chilling message crept back in. Her mind ping-ponged between hope and doubt, as if each possibility sent shockwaves through her resolve. "Okay, team," she said, trying to latch onto the enthusiasm that had taken hold moments ago. "Let us focus. If we're going to make a real impact, we need to put our plan into action." Caleb stepped up, enthusiasm lighting his face. "We should start with a rally. Let us gather as many people as we can to show that we're serious. We can create a social media event, share our stories, just really let everyone know that we're united." Lily smiled, feeling the warmth of his passion and the growing fire among her friends. "I love that idea. We can share our struggles and turn our pain into something powerful." But a frown crossed her face. "We have to acknowledge my stepmother's grip over this community. She knows how to manipulate people. We need to find a way to counter her influence." "But what if she tries to scare you again?" one of her friends asked, concern evident in their eyes. Lily took a deep breath. "That's why we need to show her that we won't back down. We need strength and numbers." She felt the weight of their worries, but something within told her she was stepping into her own power. As they organized their thoughts, Lily's phone buzzed yet again. This time, her heart sank even deeper. The message was a video, an unflattering recording of her from a few weeks back when she had argued with her stepmother in public. The caption read, "See what happens when you speak out." "Wow." Caleb whispered, anger flaring in his eyes. "She's going to use this as fear tactics." But instead of crumbling, something shifted within Lily. The moment she saw those images, she felt a rush of defiance swelling inside her. "This is just a sad attempt to silence me," she declared. "She thinks that by exposing me, she can break my spirit. But I won't let that happen." "Exactly." Caleb shouted, excitement sparking in the room. "Let us turn it into our strength. Show people that we're not afraid of the truth. And we can incorporate it into our campaign," someone suggested, eagerly. "To let everyone know that even when you feel powerless, you can stand strong." Lily nodded, her heart beating in sync with the pulse of determination in the air. "Let us make her regret ever trying to intimidate me." As the planning intensified, each of her friends shared their own stories of struggle and triumph. There was laughter, tears, but most importantly, there was a connection, a brewing camaraderie that disarmed the fear they had been carrying. Together, they were creating something beautiful out of the chaos, but in the back of her mind, Lily could still hear the haunting echo of that sinister smirk in the photo. Despite the message of empowerment they were crafting, what if her stepmother wasn't just playing a game? What if she was strategizing for a bigger confrontation? The moment of realization struck her. This wasn't just about fighting back. This was about planning. They needed to prepare for whatever her stepmother had up her sleeve, to be one step ahead. "Let us make a list of what she might do," Lily said, her determination solidifying into a plan. "If we can anticipate her moves, we can counter them." But just as the meeting buzzed with brainstorming ideas, Lily's phone buzzed again, a chilling reminder that her stepmother was still out there, waiting. "Let us wrap up for now," she said, like a captain sending her crew into the night. "Tomorrow, we start our outreach. Together, we'll take the power back. As they dispersed, the questions began to pile in her mind. How many more dark surprises awaited them? Would she be ready for the fight of her life? Tomorrow, the fight would begin, and it felt like the quiet before a storm was brewing. What kind of monster had she awakened, and just how far was taking back control really going to lead her? Lily woke up the next morning with a knot in her stomach. The sun filtered through her curtains, casting soft patterns on her walls. She had promised herself she wouldn't give in to worry, but it lingered like a shadow. What was her stepmother planning? She took a deep breath, shaking off the unease, and got ready. As she brushed her hair, her mind drifted back to the meeting from last night. The energy of her friends had sparked something fierce within her. Today was the first step towards reclaiming her life. They would rally, they would share their stories, and they would be heard. Arriving at her school, the familiar halls throbbed with the bustle of students. But for Lily, it felt different today, like each face she passed carried a piece of what she was fighting for. She spotted Caleb by the bulletin board, excitedly putting up flyers for their event. "Hey!" he called out, his smile infectious. "Look at this. I added a hashtag, Stand with Lily." Lily couldn't help but grin. "That's perfect. We need a way to spread the word." As they worked together, more friends drifted in, adding their own touches to the flyers. Laughter filled the air, and for a moment, the weight of Lily's fears felt lighter. She watched as people signed up, sensing the shift as her fellow students learned of the rally and began to see it as something significant, not just a gathering, but a movement. Their enthusiasm soon attracted a larger crowd, curiosity peaking as whispers spread among the students. Lily realized that every person who signed up was a testament to her courage. Yet, in the back of her mind, she could feel the impending storm brewing. When lunch rolled around, Lily and her friends gathered at their usual table. Laughter echoed around them, but the mood shifted slightly when the door swung open. There stood her stepmother, a sardonic smile dancing on her lips. Whispers erupted around the hall. "Lily, darling," she called out, her voice smooth but dripping with sarcasm. "I hear you're planning a little gathering. How quaint." Lily's heart raced. "What do you want, Mom?" "Just thought I'd remind you that people love a good show," she replied, locking eyes with Lily. "Especially if it ends in disappointment." "Lay off, Karen." Caleb jumped in, not backing down. "You think you can scare us with your threats?" A glimmer of amusement flashed in Karen's eyes. "Oh, but dear Caleb, I don't need to scare anyone. Just wait and see how people react when they see a little dirt about our brave Lily. That video is just the beginning." Lily swallowed hard, feeling the ache in her chest swell. "Don't you get it?" Lily shot back, trying to steady her voice. "You can knock me down, but I'm getting back up. And I'm taking others with me." Karen raised an eyebrow, the smirk never leaving her face. "Good luck with that. Remember, every action has consequences. You may just find yourself in over your head." With that, she turned sharply and walked away, leaving behind a thick tension that clung to the air. Lily felt her friend's eyes on her, supportive but concerned. "Don't let her get to you," Caleb said, placing a hand on her shoulder. "We're in this together." Lily nodded, though inside she felt chaos swirling. It was a battle against not just her stepmother's grip, but against the fear of what lay ahead. They had to stay focused on their plan, to uplift one another, and stand strong against whatever Karen unleashed. Later, as Lily prepared to return home, her phone buzzed again. The message preview sent chills down her spine. "You've stirred the pot, Lily. Enjoy the heat." She took a deep breath, the weight of the world heavy on her shoulders. What had she done? The battle was just beginning, and she needed to be ready not just for Karen, but for the unknown forces she had no way of anticipating. Tomorrow was crucial. It meant taking the final step towards the rally. But would she be prepared for everything that awaited her? What if her stepmother's game was more dangerous than she could imagine? Lily barely slept that night. Each time she closed her eyes, her mind replayed her stepmother's words like a broken record. There was a heaviness in her heart, a nagging doubt that refused to leave. What if her stepmother really did have something damaging up her sleeve? As dawn broke, she sat up in bed, her phone lighting up with new messages. Friends were rallying behind her, everyone was excited about the event. Yet, while she appreciated their support, a shiver of anxiety crept over her. Determined to shake it off, she dressed quickly, ready to face whatever the day threw her way. At school, she was met with an unexpected burst of energy. Students were everywhere, small clusters densely packed, all buzzing about the rally. The atmosphere felt electric, filled with anticipation. Each face seemed eager to make a statement, a collective heartbeat of hope echoing in the halls. Caleb was already there, pacing in front of the banner they had borrowed. "It looks incredible, right?" He grinned. The sun shone brightly, and a light wind fluttered the edges of their colorful posters, banners flapping like wings. "This is it, Lily. We're really doing this." "Yeah, we're doing this," she replied, masking the trepidation beneath her smile. She gave a thumbs up, but her heart wasn't completely in it. As the morning went on, more students began to arrive, their energy contagious. They painted signs, shared stories, and their collective purpose filled the air like a thick fog of determination. But as the time approached for the rally to start, a sense of dread crawled back. Lily caught snippets of hushed conversations around the school. Jokes about the girl who couldn't handle her stepmother. Comments that hurt, thinly veiled snickers disguised as concern. Each whisper drove the knife deeper, and each laugh felt like a distant echo of Karen's warning. Caleb noticed her stiff demeanor. "Lily. Look at all this support. They're here for you." His voice was buoyant, trying to lift her spirits, but it wasn't enough. The laughter felt mocking, a beast lurking at the edges, ready to tear apart the daisies blooming in her garden. She glanced at the clock, the seconds seeming to stretch into infinity. Then, as if her fears had taken physical form, she saw Karen entering the main courtyard. The crowd fell silent, eyes widening. There was an imposing quality about her, a predatory grace to her movements that made every student shrink back. "Isn't this adorable?" Karen's voice cut through the tension like a knife, her words laced with sarcasm. "A little gathering of misfits who think they can change the world. How quaint. Don't you children have homework?" Lily's heart pounded. All she had worked for was in jeopardy. She steeled herself, pushing back against the wave of anxiety rising inside her. "We're not misfits," Lily called out, her voice stronger than she felt. "We're standing up for ourselves." A ripple of murmurs went through the crowd. Some looked unsure, but others nodded in agreement. "Good for you, Lily. But be careful what you wish for." Karen smirked, taking a step closer. "You might find the truth can hurt far more than any hurtful video I could expose." Every gaze snapped to Karen, confusion and tension brewing like a storm. Just then, someone in the crowd shouted, "She's not afraid of you, Karen." It was a girl Lily barely knew, but her words sparked something inside Lily afire. "Exactly." Lily jumped in. "This is about us, our voices. We're not going to be silent. Not anymore." As more students began to cheer, the momentum shifted. But fear lingered in Lily's gut. Karen's veiled threat hung in the air like smoke. She took a deep breath, looking out at the sea of faces, feeling strength from their shared purpose. But there was a deeper dread. Could they truly stand against the storm? What truths lay beyond the surface, waiting to be unearthed? In that moment of resolution, she realized they were all standing on a threshold. Would they break through together, or would Karen's shadow loom over them, casting darkness on their future? The day had just begun, but the real battle was brewing beneath the surface. What other hidden secrets did her stepmother hold, and how far was she willing to go to protect her darkness? Lily didn't know, but one thing was sure: this fight was only warming up. The energy in the courtyard was palpable, a chord of tension strumming between students and that looming threat. Lily's heart raced, each beat echoing in her ears. She couldn't let it end like this, not with Karen robbing her of what they had built together. The crowd may have cheered, but Lily could sense the wavering resolve of her peers. They needed reassurance now more than ever. "Listen up," she shouted, her voice trembled but fiercely clear. "We are more than just the labels thrown at us. We are not weak, we are brave, and we have the power to change the narrative." Some students raised their signs higher, words of support scrawled in bright paint. Others clapped, their faces reflecting the warmth of encouragement. Yet through it all, Lily could see the flicker of uncertainty in their eyes. She couldn't let that doubt fester, she had to be their anchor. Caleb stepped forward, the confidence of a lion in his stance. "She's right. We're not just standing against Karen, we're standing for each other, for every voice that's ever felt silenced. Who's with us?" The response was electric. The crowd erupted in cheers, their voices rising in harmony like a chant that pushed back against the darkness. But just as Lily took a breath, savoring the moment of unity, she caught sight of Karen's icy glare cutting through the noise. It was like a bolt of lightning in a summer storm, jagged and charged with malice. "You really think this is a victory, Lily?" Karen's voice sliced through the excitement, her words calculated, laced with an ominous dread. "A pretty gathering isn't going to drown out the facts. I can expose what you truly are, a scared little girl hiding behind friends." Her words drew gasps from the crowd, and panic began to flutter like a trapped sparrow. Lily felt everything inside her churn, her mind raced. Scared? She wouldn't show Karen that weakness. "Not today, Karen," Lily exclaimed, lifting her chin defiantly. "You can't hide the truth forever. No one can silence us when we speak from the heart." A murmur of agreement rippled through the crowd. Bolstered by her friends, she felt courage seep into her veins, a warmth unfurling like a blossom stretching toward the sun. Karen's facade cracked momentarily, the flickering anger revealing a hint of fear, a small victory for Lily, but amid the cheers, doubt still lurked in the corners of her mind. The shadows of her stepmother's threats loomed larger, deeper secrets waiting to be unveiled. What truth lay in that protective layer Karen kept so closely held? What weapon would she choose next? Just as the rally reached a crescendo of empowerment, Lily's phone buzzed. She barely managed to glance at it before a flicker of dread washed over her. A text from an unknown number. "You don't know the half of it. Meet me after the rally." Her stomach twisted into knots. Who was this person? Was it another trick orchestrated by Karen? Panic clawed at her, but curiosity prickled just beneath the surface. This could be the key to unraveling everything. As she struggled to keep her composure, the wild energy of the crowd became a backdrop to her internal chaos. She felt unmoored, floating in uncertainty, yet all those rallied voices around her created a buoy of strength. "Lily! Hey!" Caleb called, pulling her back into the moment. "Are you all right?" In that instant, she knew she had to choose. Was she ready to find out more? Did she have the strength to face whatever lay ahead, whether it would be a friend with answers or another manipulation from Karen? "Yeah. I'm ready," she managed to say, her voice steadier than she felt. The crowd roared behind her, and for the first time, she allowed herself to believe they could face the storm together, whatever it might bring. But that text, it weighed heavy on her mind, a promise of revelation mingled with fear. What awaited her after the last cheer faded, and could she handle the truth when it came? The sun shone brightly, but shadows were gathering. Her heart quickened at the thought of what was coming next. Lily stood beneath the warm sun, her heart racing as the rally swelled with energy and empowerment. The cheers rang around her, but amid the excitement, dread coiled tight in her stomach. The text loomed like a ghost, whispering secrets of shadows, but she couldn't let fear take hold. "Not now. Lily. We need your voice." Caleb shouted, his zeal infectious. His words snapped her back into focus. The crowd was looking at her, their eyes filled with hope, expectation. This was her moment to shine. Taking a deep breath, Lily stepped forward, lifting her chin high. She felt like a warrior on the brink of battle. "Listen up, everyone." Her voice swept over the crowd, rallying their attention. They fell silent, anticipation hanging thick in the air. Today is just the beginning. We stand together. There's strength in numbers. She paused, her breath steadying as the adrenaline surged. We can't let fear dictate our lives. We are capable of so much more than what others say about us. Cheers erupted, a wave of warmth washing over her. But in that moment of triumph, as she looked out at the sea of supporting faces, something tugged at her. The text danced behind her thoughts like a dark storm cloud. Was this person in the shadows an ally with truths to reveal, or was it another cruel game crafted by Karen? Caleb stepped beside her, sensing her unease. With a soft nudge, he whispered, "After the rally, we'll face it together. Whatever it is." Lily nodded, grateful for his unwavering support. Together, they rallied the people, sharing stories of resilience and strength. A kaleidoscope of emotions filled the courtyard, laughter, tears, hope woven through each tale. She felt herself transforming, layers of fear peeling away to reveal a confident spirit, one ready for whatever came next. As the event wrapped up, the atmosphere buzzed with excitement. The crowd began to disperse, but the lingering encouragement still resonated. Then, the reminder of that ominous message swept back into her mind. "Wait!" Lily called, her pulse quickening. "I need to step away for a minute." Caleb, always trustworthy, gave her an understanding nod. "We'll be right here. Take your time." Taking a deep breath, she moved to a quieter corner of the courtyard where the noise faded, leaving her alone with her thoughts. The sunlight felt warmer here, a moment of clarity separated from the chaos. She pulled out her phone, staring at the text again. "Meet me after the rally." With a heart pounding, she pressed the call button. Her hands trembled slightly as she felt the weight of a choice laden with both fear and resolve. "Hello. I received your message." There was a pause before a steady, familiar voice answered. "Lily, it's Clara." The name sparked recognition. One of the women from the community center, a whirlwind of compassion she had worked alongside. "Clara. Is everything okay? I know things might feel overwhelming right now. I saw what Karen was trying to do, and I can help you." Her voice was calm, pulling Lily's focus back to the present. There's no reason to fight this alone. Tears of gratitude filled Lily's eyes. "Thank you. What do we do?" "I have information about her," Clara said gently. "Things she doesn't want anyone to know. Meet me. The park after school. I promise, Lily, this could change everything." Lily's heart raced with a whirlwind of emotions. Was this the key to fighting back? Each word Clara spoke felt like a lifeline, intertwining hope with possibility. "All right," Lily agreed. "I'll be there." As she hung up, a mixture of hope and anxiety settled in her chest. This was the turning point. She could emerge from the shadows of her past and finally reclaim her future. Returning to the bustling courtyard, Lily felt invigorated. "How did it go?" Caleb asked, his expression filled with concern and eagerness. "It's not over yet," she replied, determination steadying her voice. "Clara has some information about Karen we need to hear." Caleb's eyes lit with resolve. "Then let us gather everyone. We can strategize together." The spirit of unity followed as they gathered their friends, each face a symbol of hope and collective strength. They all sat down, friends who had become family, sharing laughter, ideas, and plans that filled the room like sunshine breaking through storm clouds. As the sun dipped low, casting a golden glow on their meeting, Lily felt the bonds of camaraderie grow strong. There was power in togetherness, the roots of resilience digging deep within her. Finally, it was time. Heart thrumming, Lily and Caleb headed to the park, a mix of anticipation and anxiety lighting her path. Upon arriving, a gentle breeze kissed her skin, a reminder that fresh beginnings often came from the ashes of the past. Clara stood waiting, her presence reassuring as she offered a comforting smile. "Hi, Clara. Thank you for meeting me," Lily said, swallowing her nerves. "Of course. Now, let us talk about everything you need to know. Together, we can reveal Karen's true nature to the community." In that moment, with her friends beside her, and truth finally on the horizon, Lily felt a powerful transformation unfolding. No longer just a scared girl, she had become a force of nature ready to reclaim her life, ready to shine brighter than ever before. "Let us show them what true strength looks like," she declared, a radiant smile lighting up her face. Her journey towards reclamation had begun, and Lily was finally stepping into her light, ready to write her own story. Subscribe immediately to the channel to not miss the next exclusive stories. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm. Comment your reactions and feelings about the ending. Share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. This is the moment to show your support. You need to subscribe now, and don't wait not even one more second to share. True fans understand the importance of supporting the channel through these actions.